So the official start of summer is right around the corner. Temperatures are rising. It's starting to get hot as hell outside. Summer season is in full swing, so it is finally time to talk about summer trends. So for this video, I'm not going to be talking about what is kind of trending generally. I'm going to be focusing on what is trending in my own specific little world, just various things I've been seeing online and have been gravitating towards, things I've just been responding to personally, and all around we'll just have a chill, chatty conversation about all the things I'm loving, all the things I'll be wearing for the summer season. So if you're looking for some style inspiration, some new things to try, I think you'll find something worthwhile in this video. But before we get into the trends, I thought I heard you ask me something. Wait, what? You want to know where my amazing jewelry is from? Well, it's from Luisa, of course, today's video sponsor. They kindly sent me 2 pieces of jewelry to try out, and I'm wearing their Sloan earrings in the color Pave, as well as their May moon pendant necklace. I can't wait to show you these up close, but I first want to tell you a little bit about Luisa. Luisa is a New York City-based jewelry brand who specialize in creating beautiful, high-quality, long-lasting jewelry at a fair price, with some pieces just starting at $39. Not only do they care about creating jewelry that will last, that you can wear for years to come, but they also really care about the environment and their impact. Luisa is climate neutral certified, which is amazing. I was thrilled to see how neat and compact their packaging was, with no plastic whatsoever. They're hypoallergenic, tarnish, and water resistant, which is perfect for summer coming up. They even offer a 2-year warranty on each piece, so you can try out their jewelry completely risk-free. They have a variety of styles to choose from and so many cute options, but let's focus on the pieces I'm wearing right now. As I mentioned, I am wearing their Sloan earrings in the color Pave and their May moon pendant necklace. I'm being so serious when I say this is the most comfortable jewelry I've ever worn. I have a lot of sensitivities when it comes to sensory issues, even my skin itself. So finding jewelry that I love that I can wear a lot sometimes can be a challenge for me. However, when I received this jewelry in the mail and proceeded to put them on, try them out, I literally forgot I was wearing them. That's how lightweight and comfortable Luisa's jewelry is. I wore these all day long. Didn't even notice until it was time to go to bed. I'm really excited to have these pieces in my wardrobe for that reason. But on top of being super functional and easy to wear, they're also just beautiful. The pieces are well crafted and sturdy. You can definitely observe that craftsmanship, but at the same time, they have this really light and delicate appearance, which I love. The designs are simple and effective, but they still have this sense of playfulness and whimsy as well. The moon necklace has such a beautiful color and texture in the middle, as well as little stars here. The earrings do have this really interesting and kind of edgy crisscross shape to them, in addition to a row of stones that are really eye-catching. I don't like when earrings are too heavy, and these are so lightweight and comfortable, and I love how they fit like proportionally to my features. I feel both pieces suit me really well actually, and I feel very pretty in them. But if you would like to check them out for yourself, you can use my link in the description. Thank you so much to Luisa for the beautiful jewelry and for sponsoring this video. So summer trends. So what I do every season is I create like a gigantic Pinterest board full of inspiration, and then I kind of browse through it and I create sort of different trends and categories within all the things that are inspiring me. So when I say trends, we're not necessarily talking about specific clothing items and that sort of thing. We're talking more general, more categorical. Is that a word? But we're kind of playing around with a little bit more broader, expansive sorts of concepts. If you want to save all this inspiration for yourself, you can find my Pinterest board linked below. So my first summer trend is called arts and crafts. I have been seeing this kind of blow up online and I love it. We're talking about things like buttons, which if you watch my most recent video, I did a bunch of DIY projects featuring buttons. Those are definitely having a moment online and I'm here for it. It's a super easy DIY to do. Buttons are already something I've always been gravitated towards. Love Coraline, love Twee. So buttons are always something that I enjoy, but I've been seeing like an emphasis on adding these to your clothes. I saw this video of this girl who had a tank top and she sewed like a bunch of colorful buttons on the strap, and I thought that was so fun. I've also been seeing a rise in things like visible mending. So like if you have a hole in your top, instead of sewing it up to like match the colors of your top, you're actually choosing fabrics and colors and threads that completely clash with that piece of clothing. So you're creating little designs and patterns and strips of color throughout the process versus making things more uniform and blending them in. I think that's such a fun way to continue to love on your clothes, get more wear out of them, but it also adds this element of personality. It's a little personal touch you can add to your clothes. And so I've been loving that. Anything beaded, I'm always super into, but in the summertime, I'm always gravitated towards things like patchwork, crochet. I've been seeing a lot of patchwork DIY, with people adding different shapes and letters on their t-shirts and things like that. I love that. I think that's really cute. You know, adding lace and ribbon to your clothes, making your own jewelry, you know, painting your bags, dressing them up. We also made some bag charms in my last video. But all around, I'm loving this emphasis on DIY, craftiness, and incorporating that into your sense of style in your clothing. My next summer trend is called fruit salad. And I kind of always have like a category of fruit in some capacity for summer. Fruit is in season. Obviously, we're literally consuming fruit in these months. But you definitely see that popularity in fruit type prints and motifs like really explode over summertime. And with brands like Lisa Says Ga, I think that the fruit print is like totally mainstream now. I've been seeing it in like department stores and places like that. So it's safe to say that fruit is like a full-blown trend this summer. But for me personally, I'm already kind of concerned that that is heading in the micro trend, like hyper-specific kind of area where we all recognize that print and we can clock it as like 2025. So the way that I'm going to be approaching fruit is not going to be in that way. For me, I like little details and motifs added here and there, but all around I think it's really fun to just play with the color palette and textures that come from fruit. So super happy, vibrant, bright shades of color, playing around with different color combinations that might evoke the feeling or imagery of fruit. So pink and green, purple, green, pretty shades of blue. I love the idea of like looking like a fruit salad with all the different colors and textures happening versus a more direct fruit print. Although I still think that's cute and a fun thing to incorporate. One of the bags that I DIY'd, I have a little apple keychain on it. So that's one way I'll be incorporating fruit this summer. But all around, I think just playing around with the idea of fruit as fashion inspo or makeup, hair inspo is really fun. And obviously it's perfect for summer. It's bright, it's colorful. So this is a really big trend across the board, but I definitely want to challenge myself to play with it in a more abstract way rather than just reaching, you know, for those kind of forward obvious prints. My next trend we are calling Ghibli Girl. I don't know how to say Studio Ghibli. I always find conflicting information on how to pronounce it. And subconsciously I alternate between the two all the time because I can't land on a specific way to say it. So if I do that, I'm sorry. It's not intentional or on purpose. It's like genuinely a weird thing that I do. I have seen mixed pronunciations. I more commonly see Ghibli, so that's what I'm going to try to say. But intuitively, I always say Ghibli. So don't get mad at me, okay, if I'm saying it wrong. But in case you don't know what Studio Ghibli is, see, I'm already doing it. It's an animation studio and production company. They've made films like Kiki's Delivery Service, My Neighbor Totoro, Spirited Away, Ponyo. Lots of amazing, wonderful movies that I love very dearly, which I would love to know what your favorite Studio Ghibli movie is. I guess we're going with Ghibli. Let me know what your favorite Studio Ghibli movie is. But if you've seen these films, then you probably know exactly what I mean by this before I even describe it. We are talking magical, whimsical, nature-oriented clothing that feels really classic and timeless, but it's still expressive and colorful and fun. I think of stripes and lace, sun hats. I think of natural color palettes. You know, while there's still a lot of magic to it, whimsical qualities to it, it's very grounded, very earthy. And as someone who likes to spend a ton of time outside, I kind of need my clothes to be functional in that way. And a lot of the Studio Ghibli characters are outdoors often. A lot of their movies are super centered around nature. A lot of their commentary is around nature. So the things that you see the characters wearing are totally realistic and things that you could wear outside in those environments. Like you see boots and sneakers. Characters are often riding things like bicycles. So the clothing is functional, but it's definitely very stylish. There is an aesthetic there. And since a lot of the movies came out in like the 80s, 90s, 2000s, you see a lot of the clothing represented in that way. You know, high-waisted jean shorts, you know, tank tops and Converse, those kinds of clothing items. But you see kind of a lot of formal, more classic, like traditional kinds of clothing as well. But all around, I kind of love the idea of blending those styles together, incorporating that sense of play and fantasy into my outfits over the summer, and just pretending like I'm a Studio Ghibli character when I go outside. My next summer trend is insects and bugs. I have been seeing some discourse around this too, and a little bit of an increase in popularity with these kinds of motifs. And I love just like an overt bug reference on clothing, accessories, that sort of thing. But again, kind of in line with what I was saying about the fruit pattern, I love the idea of taking inspiration from insects themselves instead of going in this obvious printed direction. Insects have all sorts of cool colors and textures and interesting environments that they live in. So you can take inspiration from plants, textures of their wings, their shells. When I think of insects, I definitely think of green, I think metallic, and there's a wide variety of insects you can choose as inspiration, from ladybugs to beetles to butterflies, dragonflies. I love the idea of playing around with direct motifs, but also taking inspiration from the insects, their environments, playing around with different pretty colors and balancing it out with various shades of green and brown, incorporating that sense of earthiness again. But since it's summer, bugs are coming outside more. I think it's fun to kind of lean into that and embrace that, incorporate that into your style. Lightning bugs are a fun thing to play around with. The idea of glowing, iridescence, that kind of thing. So all around like shiny textures, interesting colors, evoking that sense of insect and bug life through your makeup and fashion. My next trend I am calling retro circus. Now this is another thing I have been seeing kind of become popularized, blow up, and get a little bit more mainstream. And that is like dark, romantic, circusy kinds of aesthetics and prints, which I love. I already mentioned Coraline, but that's like a great point of reference. I've been seeing so much Harlequin print and fun circusy kinds of stripes and polka dots. And polka dots are huge, huge, huge this year. But that is a fun way to kind of incorporate the retro circus kind of vibe. But I say retro because I'm leaning into more of those kinds of silhouettes, those styles and shapes, like high-waisted bikinis, little play suits, bodysuits, hot pants and short shorts, tutus, lace, bloomers, which bloomers are also super, super huge right now, fully mainstream at this point. Kind of taking all these fun theatrical elements and throwing them together, like bold patterns, really cool textures, fun, playful makeup and hair. Again, this is always something that I kind of incorporate in my style. I have this cool antique copy of Alice in Wonderland right here. That's another great point of reference. But all around, I am loving this kind of theatricality I've been seeing in fashion. And so I think it's fun to like take that idea and bring it into summer with those cute, shorter, playful retro silhouettes, and all around taking that drama, that costumey kind of feeling and making it just a little bit more wearable, incorporating that into your day-to-day styles. And then my final trend we are calling seashells. This one's an alliteration. I love an alliteration, but they're hard for me to say. So it's called Seashells, Shimmer, and Sequins. She sells seashells by the seashore. Seashells, shimmer, sequins. Say that 5 times fast. It's exactly what it sounds like. I also recently just did a mermaid core inspired lookbook. So if you like this particular trend, make sure you check out that video because there's lots of inspiration regarding that. But obviously it's summer, so a lot of us are going to the beach. Probably not me because I have a strong aversion to the beach most of the time. But I still pull inspiration from it. And I love the different textures, the colors, the imagery that it evokes. And when I am at the beach, I'm probably looking for shells and cool rocks. So that is my inspiration for this category. All the various shiny, pretty things that wash up on the beach, that rest in the ocean. I'm really bringing that concept to life with things like sequin dresses, cool seashell necklaces, and jewelry, incorporating those beautiful colors into your hair and your makeup, all around things that are just extra sparkly, things that catch the sun and reflect light, maybe things that remind you of water and all the glimmering, textures you see within it. I also think of all the wildlife that lives in the ocean, jellyfish, different types of fish. I think clams, oysters, different shells, sand dollars, sea glass, that kind of thing. I also love the idea of like forgotten things on the beach, like old jewelry, random antiques and knickknacks you find, like those metal detector videos where people show like everything they've gathered. It's a specific niche, but I find those types of things very entertaining. But yeah, just kind of all this long lost beauty that like resides in the details of sand and water, that sort of thing. Really beautiful pastels, lots of shiny textures, sequins, shimmery nails, shimmery eyeshadow. There's a lot of easy ways to incorporate this. Of course, there's some DIY elements there. You can incorporate literal seashells and that sort of thing. But all around the summer, I would like to look extra sparkly. So that is all my summer trends. videos. You have to let me know which one you're most intrigued by, which one you want to try out. And as always, I would love to know what's been inspiring you. What kinds of things are you going to be wearing this summer? Any concepts, clothing items you've been gravitating towards. I'd also love to know if you're doing anything fun this summer, if you have any cool vacations planned, that sort of thing. That is all I have for you today. I want to thank Luisa again for sponsoring this video. Make sure you check them out using that link in the description. And of course, thank you so much for watching this video, especially if you made it to the end. Liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, all that stuff really helps out the channel. Currently trying to hit 20K. We're really close. I think we can do it. So with that said, have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy your summer. Have fun. Be safe as much as you can with everything, happening in the world. But I appreciate you being here. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!